Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and today we're going to be talking about Where the Body Was by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we're talking about the latest graphic novel from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, Where the Body Was, which was published by Image Comics just about a month ago, and it sat there on my desk for a month. And I finally had the time to read it this week because of icy roads. My comic shop is closed down, so I was able to check it out, and I'm glad that I did. Now, Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, they've been working together for decades at this point, and they've made a name as one of the best collaborative teams in comics, and that's on full display here in Where the Body Was. They've made their name on books like Criminal, Fatale, The Fade Out, books I absolutely love, and they even have the Reckless series going on right now. They are not just one of the best collaborative teams in comics, they are one of the most prolific teams in comics. The amount of work that they do is absolutely exceptional when you start thinking about the amount of pages and how others can barely keep up with it. So Where the Body Was is a crime fiction story set in a neighborhood with a whole wide cast of characters. Each character has a different perspective on the events of the book, and the perspectives shift and change, and throughout the course of the book, we find out what's really going on, what's really happening. But it's interesting how Ed Brubaker pieces it together from all these different perspectives, and it all kind of comes together at the end. But outside of just being a crime comic, this is also a romance novel, right? It's about love. It's about people's perspectives of love in different situations at different times of their lives, when they're young, when they're old, when they're unhappy, when they are happy, when they feel like they're missing something, or when they feel like they have everything that they already do. So it's playing with a lot of interesting themes that Brubaker usually plays with, but not quite in such a nuanced way across the wide range of characters. So I really did like the story. It's set in a neighborhood. The book actually starts with like a legend. Apparently Ed Brubaker wanted, like, there's some old novels back in the day where they would have a map of the city or the neighborhood or something, and then you would kind of know where everything was. Think of it like Lord of the Rings or something like that. But it shows you where all the houses are, shows you the neighborhood's layout, and that was an interesting thing because as I'm reading it, I felt myself confirmly, or completely, I should say, locked in to the geography of this place. I did like the mystery, but I do think it kind of fizzles out just a little bit towards the end, maybe just a little bit more stretching out of that Act 3 to make the impact maybe a little bit more pulsating by the end of the book. It just kind of has it keeps ramping up, and then just kind of like this, right? But an interesting cast of characters. There's a dude who pretends to be a cop. There's a private investigator. There's an unhappy housewife. There's a boarding house filled with like people that are on drugs, kids like running around on their mopeds all the time and stuff like that. There's a little kid who thinks she's a superhero spying on everything that's going on. There's the nosy neighbor. So all the characters are well fleshed out, and Brubaker does a great job with that. Sean Phillips, I have to be careful what pages I show you because there's a lot of sexiness in here too. Double check. All right, so the artwork by Sean Phillips is exactly what you come to know from Sean Phillips, and it works really, really well. Now, sometimes we get a very noirish style from Sean Phillips when he's working with Ed Brubaker, but on this one, we don't really get so much of that because so much of it happens in the daytime. So it's really interesting to still see the line work, even without a lot of heavy blacks being spotted, absolutely work, but it still maintains a sense of balance and decent composition all the way through. The coloring on this book, so it's colored by Sean's son, Jacob Phillips. The coloring is exceptional. Well-made choices for nighttime, for daytime, for indoors, all around. Great different types of colors that really pop off of each other, that really make it leap out. The lettering is solid. I think Sean Phillips letters it himself. The design of the book is really cool. It smells amazing. It was a really nice, complete story. It took me about 30 to 40 minutes to read it because once I started, I could not let it go. The dialogue flows. The art's got great design to it. The book is perfectly put together. And the coloring really helps bring out the tone in the necessary scenes. But a lot of stuff in stark daylight, but still has a tension behind it that keeps building and ramping up. Maybe doesn't completely hit at the end like it probably could, but it still is very satisfying. I like it. Out of 5 you digs, I would give this a 4.5. So there you go. I highly recommend it. If you've read it, let me know what you thought about it. If you haven't read it, I encourage you to check it out. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading. Station. Pop, pop, boom!